Upgrades. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another JVS movie review. Today, I'm bringing a review of the longest movie of the year. That's what I'm going to call it because it felt like it as I was watching it. And this is the review for Killers of the Flower Moon. Here's a quick synopsis. When oil is discovered in 1920s Oklahoma under the Osage Nation's land, the Osage people are murdered one by one until the FBI steps in to unravel the mystery. This is directed by the incomparable, the great Martin Scorsese. It stars Leonardo DiCaprio, Robert De Niro, Lily Gladstone in this film. First, as I said at the beginning, this is the longest film of the year. If it is a film longer, it's not one that feels longer. This film feels like you're sitting there for 4 hours as you're watching it. And I'm not saying that necessarily makes it bad. I'm not even saying necessarily that I feel anything can be edited down in this film to make it shorter. I don't think any of that. It's just a very long, slow-paced movie that if it wasn't for 3 great performances, I think this movie would fall apart. I mean, the plot is great. The screenplay is great. And based off of a book and a true story, we kind of understand going into it that this had to be a long movie. Almost to the extent of you thinking, or me thinking, this possibly could have been better as a miniseries than an actual film. So the point that you can actually pack this into a single sitting, even though a long single sitting for a film, is amazing to me. But it is even pushed even more by 3 great performances in this film. As we're introduced to the Osage people and we see the abundance of their land when they hit oil, and we see the looks of the people of the town as they're quickly trying to turn against them in a way because of their jealousy that this nation of people are now the richest people in the country per capita. And I hate to say this, and the white people of the town did not like that. That's the best way to put it. They did not like that at all. And then we're introduced to Robert De Niro's character, who plays Leonardo DiCaprio's character's uncle. I've never seen on film before someone who, the moment you see them, you just feel an evil presence around this guy. That is what Robert De Niro pulls off in this performance. He is evil from the beginning of this film. Even though he does not seem like he's evil, he comes across as a well-doing, helping person. Even the Osage people trust him to the T because they feel he's already wealthy, so there's literally no reason for them to fear him. And oh my goodness, it is one of the best performances I've seen from Robert De Niro since Heat, where I fully felt everything in his performance. He nails this movie from top to bottom. And then you follow that through and follow that up with Lily Gladstone, who's immaculate in this movie, as just someone who's gone through the ringer over and over and over again, as we see the discussions of the murders that's taking place, and we see the murders in her own family that's taking place. And then in the back end of that, you get Leonardo DiCaprio's character, who seems innocent at first. But again, another beautiful thing that this film does, and I think Martin Scorsese was made an amazing choice by making the decision of saying, I don't want this to be a whodunit. I want you to know up front the evil people that are involved in it, what they're doing, so you can see it unravel through the eyes of everyone around them. And that's what this movie does a great job of. We know from the beginning that these 2 characters played by Leonardo DiCaprio and Robert De Niro are evil. We know the plot. We know what his goal is, to get him to marry someone of this tribe so he can, that's pure-blooded, so we can murder their family and take all the money. Like, that is known from the beginning. It is no qualms about it. It's no, like, I wonder if this is the case here. Nope. They let you know up front that that's what's happening. Because of that, we get to see the way the world shapes around them. And when you get to see the way the world shapes around them, and we get to see them betray people's trust and play the part perfectly while betraying people's trust, is great. It is one of the best decisions I've seen in recent filmmaking, that was the angle that he went here with this film. Now, the thing that most people, again, are always going to complain about is 3.5 hours long. But even though it's 3.5 hours long, and it's slow paced. None of it feels wasted. It's not a moment in this film where I can say, well, maybe you cut 10 or 15 minutes out of here and shore up the pacing and make the film a little shorter. You don't feel that way while you're watching this movie. You're enthralled from the beginning of it because of this story, because of you're wondering, when are people going to find out that these two gentlemen are the ones creating and doing these evil deeds? And because of that, you can watch it for 3.5 hours. And while it's still a long watch because it's paced slowly, it just doesn't feel like a worthless watch, if that makes any sense. When Martin did The Irishman, it became a point around the 2.5, 2 hour, 45 minute mark of The Irishman where you felt, okay, we can cut at least 30 minutes out of this and make this film better. You don't feel that way when you're watching Killers of the Flower Moon. You feel that everything that they're showing is necessary because it builds a picture of exactly the evil deeds that they did and the downfall of those evil deeds. So even though Martin Scorsese at this point is known for making extremely long movies, Killers of the Flower Moon is almost a perfect film because it gives you everything you can possibly want. Great cinematography, an amazing score, beautiful direction, and three of the best performances you're going to get this year on film. For those reasons alone, there's no way this is not a must-watch film. So, Killers of the Flower Moon, brought to you by Apple TV, Apple Plus, Apple Films. I don't know what they call it, but Apple made this movie, and this movie is currently available, I think, on VOD, and soon it will be available on Apple Plus. Out of a possible 10, I'm going to give Killers of the Flower Moon a 9.5 out of 10. This is definitely one of the best films of the year. While it has nitpicky flaws in it, and again, one of them will always be the length. One of it could be the Osage people and not giving enough of a story about them while making this decision to focus on the two people who were attempting to destroy their community and bring them down and not giving the actual community enough attention. That could be a nitpick flaw for some people. I think it was a beautiful decision to do that because it took the focus off of, or possibly for people to blame Osage people for what happened to them, when he clearly puts in focus, none of this is their fault, none of this is their issue. These evil men are the reason why these people were being murdered left and right. So I think that was a beautiful decision, and I can see how some people won't think that and think that it was a cop out to not give the main people of the film, the tribe of the film, more attention. So I can understand that nitpick, but to me that's not enough of one. It's not even a big one. It's very minuscule for me to take away from the brilliance of this movie. But check it out. Let us know what you think. This has been another JVS movie review. Peace, people.